Hello everybody and good evening and welcome to the Integrity OCTANE Series here for the regular season finale in Iowa with the Next-Gen Cup car. My name is Alexander Balderas. Thank you so much for tuning in to this night's FTN broadcast as we get a look here into the perspective of what it would be like in this race. As we go on tonight, points are on the line as to who's above and below the cut line to make the playoffs. On your screen now is the most recent points with Ethan Lane leading it in, all locked in, with Jared Davis being on the cut, Matt Solser above the cut by 3, Ross Cato above it by 4, and Nolan Potter below it by 17, John DeBarro minus 21. So those are your drivers to look out for tonight in their last round effort to try and make the playoffs. Hopefully a lot of good effort here from Iowa. Things are usually pretty good at this racetrack, so we can only hope that tonight proves to be a continuation of that fact. With just one more lap to go around, the pace car will make its dive in this time by. We'll be ready to go green here in Iowa. And some thoughts going in is that usually, most regular season finales try and brood some more action than normal with people trying to make the playoffs, trying to get above that cut line. I think tonight's action should be a little bit more dramatic than what we would usually see in a normal race, say in the middle of the regular season. So, hoping that tonight's efforts out on the racetrack proved to be a good one and to prove to put on a good show as we are one round away from entering the playoffs. As the pace car going to make its dive down on pit road, Ethan Lane, your leader, he'll go in the restart zone, and we are green here from Iowa. Already off to a fantastic start. Ethan Lane holds the pole and holds the lead for the first lap. Tom Wetmore, the man behind him in the 51 machine. Then it's Blake Cannon, Nick Turbach, and Ryan Bean, your top 5. Good single file action going on in the head of this pack right now. Closest battle, I believe, is for the 11th position. That's when we start getting side-by-side action here. As that would be Nate Campbell trying to go around the outside, I believe, of Matt Solser, who, if you remember, is on the cut line or near the cut line for the points. He's just above 3 points above. He's in the playoffs as we speak, but that might be here to change as we go on with tonight's event. So far, everyone taking an easy approach so far. Everyone below 10th is racing a lot harder than the men above the 10th position. Everyone started to single file and single lane, but that doesn't go along with the track, as Iowa's actually quite multi-groove. Usually the bottom and the middle are two good options as long as you're in that big fat rubber patch, that big fat tar patch there on the bottom. Usually the top is too bumpy to get any effort or any real grip out of the top and be able to use, so it's mainly just the bottom and the middle, maybe a lane above the middle, maybe half a lane above, but yet to be seen so far, still side by side here with the 45 and the 04. It's Nate Campbell, and he just passed Galen Gidman. And now Galen is falling back a couple of spots. That's the Skittles number 34 machine of Nolan Potter. I believe he was also the one on the cut. Yes, he's just below the cut line, 17 points below. He currently sits in 12th place on the racetrack, so most likely needs a top 5 to have any chance of trying to advance into the playoffs. As we'll go on, we'll see what happens next. Check in with the leader. Tom Wetmore takes the lead over Ethan Lane. Blake Cannon up to second. Ethan Lane falls back a couple of spots back to third, and is now within the grasp of Nick Turbach as he holds on to the rest of the pack as a sort of train has started right behind what seems to be the head that is Ethan Lane. He's the head of this train here. A little bit of a gap to Blake Cannon as he now starts to get on the back bumper. Ethan Lane, your pole sitter, drops down 3 positions and is now the head of this so-called pack, but they are battling deeper in the middle. 3 wide, 3 rows back. The first battle again with Nate Campbell, I believe. Actually, no, a row ahead, and it's Nicholas Ward and Ross Cato as they try and sort it out. It's the battle for 7th and 8th. There's a little bit of contact made there with the 97, or sorry, excuse me, 97 of Nicholas Ward. Contact doesn't seem to be any damage, so he gets away pretty scot-free as they still end up side by side now doing battle with still the 18 of Cody Smith and the 34 of Nolan Potter. He moves up a couple more spots. So a lot of the on the bubble, on the line playoff guys who need a few more extra spots trying to make their moves early here, while the sun is still kind of not necessarily roasting the track, but keeping it warm as the sun stays out through the exit of 2. Now the backstretch, and we've got a spin and a crash. It's the 49 of Wooden Mahan. So his engine is blown as he is down pit road. Let's get a review. So here he is going into 1 and 2. I actually think it's the lap before. Or the lap after, excuse me. Racing pretty hard here with, what is it? The 61. And goes into turn 1. This is where the incident starts brewing. I believe he just gets loose coming off a 2. Yeah, it seems so. He just gets loose off a 2 and nowhere to go. Awful impact with that jut out of the wall. And, yeah, that would about do it. Straight head on into the outside, or the inside retaining wall. And, yeah, that car is destroyed. Let's see, who was behind it? But the 61. I don't think they made contact. We'll see, though. No, it just steps out from underneath him. Yeah, that's odd. Just stepped out from underneath him, nowhere he could go, and no chance of saving it. Well, first caution out early as Woody Mahan is down on pit road. That will be the end of that. Tom Wetmore, your leader over Blake Cannon, Ethan Lane, Nick Turbach, and Ryan Bean. So the top 5 stays the same as it was in qualifying. And apart from that, nothing else really changes. A couple of incidents here and there, maybe a couple of bits of contact throughout the pack, but we so far stay solidly green. It was a pretty good green flag run there. We had 14 laps green, and then came in for pit stops. Lights on the pace car should go out this lap. Yes, they do, and we'll be green this time by. The green this time by, 1 caution under our belts already as the field is bunched back together. This essentially eliminates the 1.6 second lead that Wetmore had over the second place, so basically the rest of the field. Anyone in the back of the pack is not nearly as affected. They were all still pretty bunched up with each other, about 2 tenths between one another. They really hadn't spread out much at all, to be fair. So, with that being said, we'll rack 'em, stack 'em, and let 'em go again. The pace car dives down onto pit road as we get ready to go once again. Green flag is out, and Wetmore with a great start around the outside. Leaders try to go single file yet again, but Blake Cannon now tries to make the pass on Tom Wetmore as he'll stick it right down the inside, and Wetmore kind of just lets it happen. He'll let him pass, and now we have a new leader in Blake Cannon, who takes the lead just after the restart. Looks like we're almost 3 wide back here in the middle of the pack. That is the 34 machine again, but that's the all-white car. It's the 19 of Jared Davis, alongside with the 04 of Galen Gidman. They're all bunched up together again, trying to make some moves side by side with the 45 of Nate Campbell around the outside again. That's where he's made all his passes tonight. And a lot of the drivers seem to just wanting to make their moves around the outside of the corner, all except for the pass for the lead, as that was down the inside. As we look back, Tom Wetmore retakes the lead over Blake Cannon. Just a couple laps ago, he made the move. And so now Tom Wetmore back into the lead again. Quite a good race so far. A lot of individual battles there in the lower back half of the pack. We've seen a lot of side-by-side action, not a lot of wrecking. Minor contact, and it's quite been good to watch these guys battle it out between each other. As the 61 and the 45 back at it again. John DeBarro and Nate Campbell side by side, along with the 34 of Nathan Potter and the 93 of Matt Salosser. Sorry if I... apologies if I butcher your last name or your name in general. I apologize. Top 5 remains unchanged. Actually, no. I'm a liar. Top 5 does change as Ryan Bean loses a spot to Ross Cato. He moves up to 5th. And no takers down pit road, except for Sam Nito, Cody Smith, Nicholas Ward, and Randy Fayash. They all decided to pit during that caution, and they're moving up through the field. The highest hitter is Zach Brittenthal, I believe. He is the number 20 machine on the inside, and he's making up quite a bit of spots, moving up to where that 04 was. He's currently in 17th place. Got a couple of battles here looming in the middle of the pack so far. Everyone's staying quite close with one another as the 4 looks to the inside. That's Nick Terbach on Ross Cato. Ross Cato made the move around, and he's actually moved up to the 4th position. So he's making his way and cutting through the top 5. Couple of battles going on back here. That's Brad Patton and Kyle Cooper in the 71 and 7, or 73 and the 7 machine. As they're going to go side by side, Brock Potter and Zach Schrinthal are battling it out right now. 20 machine on the inside. He was one of our pit road takers during that caution period that we had. First caution of the night. He ends up trying to claw his way around. But looks like a lot of these cars in the middle of the pack is going to be quite difficult. As they go 3 wide, he takes it down the inside and tries to pass the 55 and the 04 in one move. We'll get past the 04. And we'll have to focus around his drive on the exit of turn 2. In his entrance to 3, still side by side with that 55. That's Brian Yaksik. As he leans ahead and he makes the move on that inside, just cooking up everybody on the outside right now. Opposite of what you'd call a freight train. It's just a single locomotive. Passes the 61 as well. What a great hard charge. On his way making moves as Brad Patton makes some moves too on Brock Porter. Similar names. Trying to make some moves here. Stick in the back of the pack. As they're going to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. The 04 backs out, as well as does the 55 and the 7 machine as they stay side by side. The 7 will have the better of the 55 around the outside as the 04 goes side by side with the 18 of Cody Smith. They'll battle it out. The 20, Zach Schrinthal, is just cutting through this pack with 15-lap fresher tires. It will benefit him now, but we'll just have to see how this plays out for overall race strategy, because he will have certainly taken fuel as well. So he can go longer and go a farther distance than everyone else in front of him. So if this goes green, this plays into his hands, because he'll have stretched out a set and a longer advantage with tires and fuel. And now he makes another pass. That's on the 12, down on his inside, still side by side, but he'll make it through the rest of the corner. And he went from 17th, just 10 laps to go, all the way to 6th. So he's gained 11 spots in the last 10 laps. That's at least a spot a lap that he's gained, and is further catching on the pack ahead. John DeBarro now side by side with the 18 machine of Cody Smith as well. So multiple battles going on around the rest of the pack, or excuse me, the 19 machine, Jared Davis. He is the one side by side with the 61, now making passes on the rest of the field. Ooh, bit of contact at the wall. He gets loose and he gets a nudge. I believe that's Nathan Porter. No, excuse me, it's Nate Campbell. As he touches the wall, he gets a bump from Nolan Porter. From Nolan Porter, as they're side by side with the 93 machine of Nathan Soliser, as Ethan Lane makes the pass on Tom Wetmore. With the battle for the lead. Blake Cannon now takes the lead as Tom Wetmore falls to 3rd. A lot of battling and a lot of exciting action going around all of the racetrack right now. Truly nothing, everything to miss out on here. Nolan Potter still side by side with the 19 machine of Jared Davis. A lot of action going on right now on lap 37 of 175. Still a long way to go in tonight's event here at Iowa, but a lot of the battling going on, proving to be quite the spectacular show. So far blocking going on. That's the 55 Brian Yaksik, I believe. Excuse me if I said that incorrectly. Brad Patton, that's the man who he blocked. And Jared Davis and Cody Smith going at it side by side. He put his nose in there and tried to make a move. And Cody Smith now moves up to 11th place. But there is battles all over the racetrack. Battle here in the back of the pack, Sam Nito and Jacob Fife. They're going back at it along with each other. And Jacob Fife will pull back in line. Kyle Cooper now in the 73 machine making a move on Galen Gidman as he moves down to the inside and makes the pass on the 04 machine. Is he clear off the corner? No, he's not. Oh, bit of contact and scraping the outside wall. Look at Sam Nito. No, it's Brock Porter who hit the outside wall. Got loose down the back straightaway and popped that outside wall. Let's check in on our hard charger, Zach Schrinthal. I feel like I'm saying that incorrectly. Schrintenthal? We're going to go with Schrintenthal. He's moved up to the 6th position after being 17th on the lap of the restart. Lap 18, I believe. When I last checked in, I'm on 24. He had moved up 11 spots, now lap 44. And he stayed pretty easy coasting in that 6th position with a 15-lap tire advantage over the rest of the 5 in front of him. So just going along easy, saving his stuff as he tries to make it within the top 3, pushing along the edge of the top 5. Also battled here back in the pack. It's the 7 of Brad Patton as he does battle with the 04 of Galen Gidman and the 55 of Brian Yaksik. Yaksik. We're going to go with Yaksik. He doing battle right now. They all slot in line down the backstretch, but these guys have been battling it out. It's been a tight pack between these guys for ever since the start of the race. Jared Davis now moves up to the inside of Cody Smith in the 18 machine. So these guys putting on an absolute showstopper. Battles all over the racetrack. Cody Smith just along that outside lane trying to get the better edge of the 61 as well. He'll make that move and he'll make it stick. He makes the pass down the front stretch on lap 47. Zach Schrintenthal now moving up, and with the battle in front of them, going quite close. Couple of battles here. Oh, we got a car off. It's Nick Turbach. Car down low on the front stretch, and he drops back a few positions. He'll drop back to 6th. As Schrintenthal moves up to 4th. Tom Wetmore down to 5th after leading this race at one point just about 20 laps ago. Blake Cannon now still your leader. Ethan Lane had closed the gap to about 2/10 now, back, going further back to 4. And they have a 1.2 second gap to Ryan Bean, who was in 6th position, now moves back up to 3rd, highest he's been all night on lap 50. Getting cracking and underway here in Iowa. Absolute showstopper of an event. Battles all over the racetrack. You're watching the Integrity OCTANE Series regular season finale here on FTN. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Once again, welcome back, race fans, to the World Center of Racing, Daytona NACAR Speedway, as we get set for our second on-track activity today.
Racing requires everything that you've got. Climbing into NASCAR on Sunday, it feels like you're getting ready to go into battle.
When I hit that ignition switch, that car fires up. It's one of the best things in the world.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the regular season finale of the Integrity OCTANE Racing Series here in Iowa as pit stops begin to go underway. Some people deciding to take here as a couple of men down pit road. If I'm not mistaken, yes, that's the 93. And that's Matt Sulzer down pit road as well. Ethan Lane just pit as well. So did Tom Wetmore, Dalen Gidman, Brian Nixack, and Nolan Potter. They all decided to come down pit road. Kyle Cooper down as a taker as well. Good chunk of people yet to still stay out. And this is where the strategy for Zach Schrintenthal will become an integral key into the strategy of this race. He and Cody Smith, along with Sam Nito, hit under the caution we had on lap 17. So they've still got 20 laps extra roundabout. 15, 20 laps over the rest of the field. Do they pit with the rest of the field, which I don't think is the smartest, or do they try and extend it as long as they can? That is going to be the thing that they have to think about. And in any case, I think they would try to extend it for as long as they possibly can. He's the man in third right now. It's Blake Cannon, then Ryan Bean, Zach Schrintenthal, Nick Campbell, and Jared Davis, your top 5, as some of them have yet to pit. And as we focus on these leaders, we'll be sure to catch any of them to make any stops down pit road. Dealing with a couple of lap cars here and there, just seeing everybody fly past him now. The longer you stay out on the older tires, you wonder, is it worth it? You know, because of how much you're falling back and how much you'd have to gain again in pit road. It seems like it might be a bad call, but usually in the end, staying out typically works. Right now, for Blake Cannon, he has led quite a few laps just this race so far, and it's been quite the showing for him, as we're not even halfway yet in this race, and led a good chunk, if not a majority, of the laps here tonight. We're getting close to halfway, but not quite there yet. So got more than 100 laps to go, but closing in on that, just 105 when we cross the line. And as these guys continue to make laps around the racetrack, Zach Schrittenthal has moved up to second place and still has that actually 15 lap advantage on tires and fuel over Blake Cannon, Ryan Bean, Jared Davis, Nate Campbell, John DeBarro, Ross Cato, and Jacob Fife. There's a couple of extra guys down there, especially Cody Smith in the 18 machine, who are on the same strategy as Zach. So we'll see how this plays off, and this is going to be the most integral part of what we're showing and shown here tonight. And we're focusing on Blake Cannon to see when he pits, to see if Zach and the rest of the people who pitted earlier want to jump onto the schedule of the leaders, or do they want to play some strategy game and try and avoid that? Ryan Bean now comes down pit road. John DeBarro, yes, John DeBarro down pit road as well. Ryan Bean, John DeBarro. We got a couple of takers down pit road. Go back to Blake Cannon. He stays out. So a couple of takers down pit road. Zach Schrittenthal still staying up, and he does! With that advantage, he decides to come down and hop on the strategy with the leaders. Cody Smith stays out, so he is essentially the man we're looking for now to see if he goes off strategy. Blake Cannon's still out on the racetrack. Let's right on board. He has to be fuel saving. We'll listen on to a lap and see what happens.
Caution's out. What is this for, Earl?
Oh, man.
Say again. Caution for.
So,
In the wall.
caution is out, and it's reported to possibly be a wreck on the racetrack. Unfortunately, I feel like Fox for missing that wreck, but we'll just go back down below and see who's our slow roller here. Everyone trapped a lap down. Not exactly sure what the caution was for. Everyone's still full racing speed, and oh, there's a spin in 2. That's what it is, but he saved it. Who is that? I see now, so there was a spin in 2. Go back and look at it again. Trying to find out who that was. I believe it was the 7 car. Doesn't make much sense, though. He's still 11th. Let's take a look back and see. I believe it was him, though. Unfortunately, this caution kind of ruins the pit strategy. Yes, it was. He slid, he slid, he slid. Wow, and thread the needle through the middle. And that was a close one. So a half spin and a save brings the caution back out again. Brad Patton, the one to bring it out. And the field is all jumbled up. Field all a mess right now, as that caution came out in the middle of the pit cycle, so a lot of people were trapped a lap down, still are. Nate Campbell, Kyle Cooper, Nolan Potter, Sean Keese, Josh Gallagher, Brock Potter, Randy Fiash, and Bobby Keith are 1 lap down, and I assume are waiting to get their lap back to line up at the end of the field. Tail end of the longest line.
Check that. Not one to go yet.
So the caution is extended as we allow for the lap cars to get their laps back. We'll go one more time around before we go back green. Well, we got a couple of, got a little bit of time with us here before we go back green again. In case you weren't aware or weren't looking earlier in the broadcast, here is the points leading into the playoffs as we get 1 lap go to green. Matt Sulzer, just 3 points above, along with Ross Cato. They're the closest ones above the cut line. And then it's Nolan Potter and John DeBarro, who are the closest below at 17 and 21, respectively. Jared Davis is the cut line in 15th place. So right now, I believe he's in to the playoffs. That would make the most sense to me. So with everyone a lock in, essentially 10th on up, the only ones having to worry are just the bottom few. Pace car makes its dive down pit road as we get ready for the second restart, or should I say third, of the night. And it's Blake Cannon to lead us away. Blake Cannon off to a great start this restart. Oh, caution's back out again. And I'm not sure for what exactly. Well, let's go back to the blimp. So there's the restart. Everyone seems fine. Everyone seems fine. Still seem fine. Yeah, everyone looks okay. I'm not sure what the caution was called for, but we're back under yellow again here in Iowa. And the pace car is back out again. Back under caution again, just a couple laps to go before we go back green once again. And we'll get you an FTN mid-race sports update. It's the bottom of the 9th with the bases loaded in the game, the Athletics versus the Nationals. 16 Athletics versus 6 Nationals. And right now, the Nationals have the bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and 3 balls so far. Ball 1 was a slider, and then a four-seam fastball, and another four-seam fastball just outside. Ball in the dirt, and that's a walk. And that's going to be a run for the Nationals with the bases still loaded. Moving on, it's the end of the 7th. The Brewers, I believe, at the Braves. 7 Brewers and 2 Braves. It's the end of the 6th, and the game is tied between the Yankees and the Rangers. Still no runs on the board. Game is tied between the Reds and the Cubs. Top of the 7th. The Reds have a runner on first. It's the bottom of the 5th between the Blue Jays and the Rockies. 3 Blue Jays and 2 Rockies. Game is tied between the Rays and the Angels. Score is 0-0. It's the bottom of the 1st for the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Still tied 0-0 with 1 out. Bottom of the 1st for the White Sox and the Mariners. And the 1 run for the White Sox, bottom of the 1st with 2 outs. FTN Sports Update concluded. Pace car down pit road. We're ready to go back. Green again here in Iowa, just past the halfway point. And we're green again as Blake Cannon leads them to turn 1. Another great restart lap for Blake Cannon as he holds on to his lead, but Sam Nito trying to make a move down the inside of the 12 machine of Ross Cato, who, as the lights have come on, by the way, that scheme has lit up and come to life. Quite an amazing number 12 car out there as a couple of people smack the wall. The battle, oh my goodness, almost 4 wide back here. 3 wide between the 6. That's Ethan Lane, Brad Patton back here as well. Tom Wetmore trying to make sense of it as they're all 3 wide, jumbled up here in the middle of the pack. Heavy battling going on back here as faster cars try and make up more spots and some more time. So side by side, multiple guys back here, leaving it all on the track, and really going after each other and going after it. Pretty impressive to see these guys battle it out this tough and this strong. And honestly, quite an impressive showing from everybody here, as there has been battles all over, regardless of restarts or anything of the sort. So really impressive racing by all of these guys out here so far. Tom Wetmore trying to cut his way back up through the field. Oh, and that's a tight gap right in front of the 7, and he'll slink back down to the inside and try and make that move stick. Lead update change. It's Ross Cato to the lead over Blake Cannon, Jacob Fife, Cody Smith, and Jared Davis. There's a big improvement there from Ross Cato. He moves up to the lead. And quite the bit of battling going on here in the middle of the pack. As we now get to the bottom half of the top 10, things are going a little more crazy. Still side by side, a couple rows back, as the 45 of Nick Campbell does battle with the 51 of Tom Wetmore. Had to get back past the 7. He'll probably move it down to the inside, cuts back to the outside of the 19 of Jared Davis, and he'll be side by side as he'll try and make a move. Issues with Ross Cato as he slides back all the way to the bottom half of the top 5, and he moves back. Actually want to get a look and see what happened there. Still not far back enough. I just want to get a quick look. He was side by side and just couldn't hold on and just let them all go. Interesting. So that's what happened to Ross Cato. He's now in the 7th position. New leader in Jacob Fife. As John DeBarro behind him. Then it's Blake Cannon, Cody Smith, Sam Nito, and Tom Wetmore as he's been cutting his way up through the field. Just a couple more cars to go. He is the freshest one on tires, the oldest one being John DeBarro at 26, and there's contact, and there's a spin. It's Tom Wetmore, and the rest of the field involved, and that's going to be our first real crash of the night involving other race cars. Man. There's a lot of buildup to this accident. Let's take a look. Tom Wetmore trying to make up some more spots as well. This all happens roundabout in turn 1, I believe right about here, if not the next lap. So they're all bunched up, all in line as they get ready to go. Actually, no, I believe it was turn 3. So Tom Wetmore dives it down to the inside of the 2 of Sam Nito as he gets turned, slides back up, clobbers the 04. Tom Wetmore slides on the bottom there. Nito tries to slide, overcorrects, collects the 45. He shoves him back up. They're going to go and ram onto the side of the 04. That is just a nasty collision between those two. Let's check if the 45 collects anyone else. Tom Wetmore skates by on the bottom after saving it. And, the 94 might be involved as well as the 96. Oh, he gets a piece of it there. Oh, and he gets into the back of the 94 and to the side of the 04 as well. And the 90 involved as well. He is sliding on the pit road there. I actually don't know who that is. The 90. Oh, there. Sam Callis. Excuse me, not on the pit road, but on the section that looks like pit road. Well, just unfortunate. Just a move that didn't go right for Tom Wetmore there. We'll get another replay. Dives it in, tags the left rear of the 2. Tag him and spin him around. Now that contact on the right front of Wetmore seems to bump him down, gets him loose as he slides on the second part of the track. Sam Nito is too busy currently wrecking up here. And will collect the 45. Oh, if he just gone down to the apron, he would have avoided that. Great avoidance, though, by the 97. Just keeping her slowed down. And just bam, right into the 04. Just nowhere he could go. Maybe if he gassed it up a little bit. Left rear toe link broken and shattered on that 04 Rust-eze machine. And that will bring out the caution for, I believe, if I'm keeping count, the 4th time tonight. Caution's out again in what is truly an eventful night here in the cornfields of Iowa. As right now, Jacob Fife is still your leader over Blake Cannon, Cody Smith, Nicholas Ward, and Tom Wetmore slides up, even after causing that up to the 5th position. He slides up into the top 5. Pace car lights are off, just ready to go down pit road again as we are excited and want to get back racing here in the luscious corn hills of Iowa. We get ready to get restarted and go back green here once again. New leader in Jacob Fife over Blake Cannon. Then it's Cody Smith, Nicholas Ward, and Tom Wetmore. We get ready to go green here once again.
Green flag.
As the green flag is dropped, Jacob Fife leads the field to turn 1. Slides up blocking, does the 18. As a pass for the lead, Blake Cannon now takes it away from Jacob Fife. Nicholas Ward in the mix here, the battle with the 18 and the 51 of Tom Wetmore. Things stay side by side as the battle is here along this back half of the top 5 and the mid of the top 10. are starting to heat up a little bit more than they were earlier. Tom Wetmore rubbing the left rear of Cody Smith to try and take that position away. He goes down to the inside of turns 1 and 2 and is still side by side, cannot make the move. Of course, he's got Ethan Lane behind him. So far, season's winningest driver with 8 wins on the season in a march to what should be the championship. Battle for the lead right now. Been a while since we've actually gotten to see a battle for the lead. It's Jacob Fife and Blake Cannon. Fife trying to go around the outside on the right rear of the 44. He'll try and pin it close to the wall. Give it to Blake Cannon at the line, but he is not over yet. Jacob Fife doesn't back down, and he's trying to make this move stick, of which he does. He'll take the lead coming off of turn 2. What a move by the 36. Cody Smith falling back a few places as well, so is Ethan Lane. John DeBarro. Tom Wetmore moves up to 4th and his charge back up to the top 3, where he's been essentially all race, minus that kind of kerfuffle on the pit incident there. Quite a race so far. Been a truly incredible one. We've shown you all the action here at the front of the field. And truly what has been quite a phenomenal race here in the Corn Hills of Iowa, if I had to say so myself. A lot of racing action on track. A couple of exciting wrecks. First big one-ish of the race, multi-car pile-up and incident that we had earlier that brought out just this past caution. A lot of shuffling around, especially here in the middle of the pack. Ross Cato, who had fallen back, I believe, might still be falling back, but he's trying to get going here once again as we're on lap 111, now 112. And he's trying to cut up a couple of positions here as he almost goes 3 wide with the 4. Oh, we've got a spin! And it's the 55!
Quickly tell me what you think you had there.
Is it? I'm not wrong, am I? Uh-oh. I might be... Nope. I was not. Let's take a look back. Oh, and he gets into contact with the 34, spins him up the track, and he gets collected with the all-gray machine with the red wheels. First real self-clear of the night. Right on board, actually, with the 34 of Nolan Potter. Let's see what he had to say. Oh, he just kind of goes straight. I don't even think that was the 55's fault. He just kind of went straight. There was nothing he could do there. Yeah, just unfortunate events. No spoiler damage, though, so downforce-wise, in the back, he'll be alright. Oh, wait, no, I do. A little chunk missing there. A body panel. But, this might just be another similar incident to what happened earlier. With He kind of just turns... Yeah, he just turns him around. Just unfortunate, man. I mean, the 55 was coming down quite a bit, and he was going to take a lower arc, but the 34 also just kind of went straight. So, I want to say racing deal, but it seems to me that the 34 went more straight than the 55 straight down to the low side. Well, another caution and another wreck involving a couple more important guys. A lot of incidents here tonight in Iowa as you get ready to go back green once again. John DeBarro, your leader, over Ethan Lane. Or, sorry, Ethan Lane, your leader over John DeBarro, and Ross Cato. If I'm not mistaken, it should be Ethan Lane. Quick final score report, 7 Astros to 3 Marlins. They win, I believe that's game 2 of the series. And a couple other close games. The Reds have just gotten 4 more runs against the Cubs. It's no longer close. Bottom of the 7. Next caution, we'll do a full FTN Sports report. Now, as the field comes back to green... As actually, I was incorrect. It's John DeBarro who takes us to the green in turn 1 and 4 wide in the back of the pack. A lot of tough stuff going on here in the back of the pack. They're all bunched up quite close together, really. 3 wide here with Cody Smith and the likes. These guys are just being so much more aggressive than they were. They know it's time, pretty much go time now, as we're in the latter stages of this one. And, God, they are still 3 wide everywhere. I can't even fit them all on the screen. You'd think this is a super speedway the way these guys are all packed up close together. That just proves how good of a short track Iowa is to put on this level of exciting racing, and he's going to turn the 34 as there's a huge wreck in turn 4. And not only that, but the 6 of Ethan Lane is involved as well. Excuse me. The 6 of Ethan Lane involved as well. What just happened? So first, I want to get a look at Ethan Lane. A bit of contact there for the lead. Blake Cannon and John DeBarro as they make contact. Here comes Tom Wetmore. Oh, not again, does he? Oh, that's 2 times this race he's tagged someone in the left rear. And then also at the same time that that's happening, the 18 of Cody Smith is also getting involved in a wreck and just gets the 93 involved, the 4's involved, the 34's involved, the 88, the 7. Oh, man, I might need the blimp for this, really. All right, let's take it a couple steps back. Go back 20 seconds. Wish the blimp was a little closer. If you look, this all happens at the top of your screen. So there he gets turned, and then here comes the rest of them all just piling into the wreck. Absolutely piling in. They have a turn 4 cam? No, it doesn't seem like it. I wonder if pit lane 2 caught it. No, it did not. Okay. Well, sorry for a not so great showing of that wreck, but huge one happened later in tonight's affairs, and just absolutely a staunch wreck. Here it is again. We looked at it live, so I'm not going to spend too much more time on it, but Ethan Lane is already spinning from Tom Wetmore's contact, and then later, right about now, Cody Smith is turning the 34 as they are 4 wide, and beautiful wreck avoidance by the 20. He makes it, just skates on by. Here's where I get a better look. 93's involved, the 4 is involved, 94 is involved, 18's involved, 34 is involved. There was the 7 and the 88. And I don't think anyone else is involved either. No, I think they all miss it. Well, quite a wreck to bring out the caution just one more time. A lot of people are going to be down pit road. Oh, and yet again, I spent too much time yapping on the replays. We're going to go back green again. Can't do another sports report. If I can I get it out here? 7-2 Blue Jays up by 5 on the Colorado Rockies with a runner on second in scoring position. Game is still tied top of the 4th for the Tampa Bay Rays and the Angels. Game is tied 2-2, bottom of the 2nd for the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Top of the 3rd, and it's tied between the White Sox and the Mariners. Top of the 1st, game just started for the Cardinals and the Dodgers. 2 outs, tie game. And the Guardians and the Mets, 3-2. Guardians taking that win. Pace car down pit road again for lap 123. And Blake Cannon back into the lead to get us another restart. Tom Wetmore looking to make a pass here. Very aggressive on this restart compared to the last ones we've seen so far. Oh, we've got another wreck, and again, it's the 19 Jared Davis. Oh, spun around as the 73. Lots of contact and major wrecking down the front stretch. The caution is out yet once again. This one should be pretty easy to decipher. You know what? Excuse my unprofessionalism here. I want a better view to see what exactly happened around Jared Davis to cause that incident. Let's take it back here. The story starts in 3 and 4. The 97 absolutely bombs it down the inside, gets tight, slides back up the track. The 73 is already sliding up because of what the 97 did, and goes to make contact with the left rear of the 19 of Jared Davis. In-piles in the 97. In-piles in the 12. Everyone seems to avoid it thus far. 20 misses it. 7 clips the left front of the 73 and sends him spinning. And everyone seems to avoid it. Back here, 97 spinning in the grass. 7 going through the grass. Couple guys down pit road, and everyone seems to avoid it thereafter. Just a quick look back again. So again, the 97 dives it up the inside of the 73. 73 thought he might make a move, starts getting tied up against the 19. Makes contact with that left rear. And that is what just starts the whole chain of chaos That brings out another caution and another wreck here tonight in Iowa. So the yellow flag and yellow lights draper over this cornfield racetrack yet once again. As we're now on the 7th caution. If I'm not mistaken, Blake Cannon now leading the field. Quite a lot of incidents tonight. As it is truly quite the event. Yankees and Rangers, bottom of the 8th with 1 out. 2 Rangers on, 1 Ranger on first and 1 in second in scoring position. Could change the name of the game here. Ball, 4th pitch ball. So that's 3 balls, 1 strike, 3-1 count. And it's, who is that? It's Wyatt Langford up to bat. 242 batting average so far this year. I believe the R signifies he's a rookie. He could score here. But what we're looking to score here is some green laps and a clean restart here in the regular season finale here in the Integrity Octane Racing Series. Green flag is out, and we're ready to go away for another restart here in the cornfields at Iowa Speedway. And what another first start for Blake Cannon, as we've seen so many times tonight with these recurring restarts. He ends up just ahead of Tom Wetmore, a little bit of a troublemaker tonight, but he proves to be one of the quickest guys to cut through this field as he is putting the work to Blake Cannon, Ryan Bean, John DeBarro, Jacob Fife, Nicholas Ward, Zach Schrittenthal, Mac Slicer, Ross Cato, and Ethan Lane, your top 10. This here is the battle for the 4th and 5th position here, the edge of the top 5 between these guys. Kind of sort themselves out. Wetmore looking to get passed by Ryan Bean. As they all stay clumped up together. Bit of a single file action. Calmest restart we've had in quite some time, as the field is much more spread out this time. Nick Turbach trying to make some moves here in the back as well. Tom Wetmore around the outside of Blake Cannon, and he'll make the move stick, and that's the pass for the lead. Ryan Bean attempting to make a move as well on Blake Cannon, but that move does not work. Great series of events, great passing, great racing between all of these guys in the field, and especially that top 5. Seeing the best battling of that tonight, minus the the chances and the times we've been 4 wide throughout the cross and the span of the field. The front of the field here tonight has just been putting on clinic after clinic, passing, battling, and side-by-side action here in Iowa. The battle going on for the lead as we're almost 3 wide for the race lead, and it quickly breaks up. Blake Cannon now battling with the 36 of Jacob Fife as he slides back down to 3rd. Jacob Fife makes the move around the outside. Ryan Bean slides down to fourth. Up to the back bumper is Jacob Fife trying to make a move around the outside of Tom Wetmore. That move will not work and it will not stick. A lot of battling going on between these top 5 guys right now, as that's when this is the closest group battle on the racetrack. Everyone else is a little bit more spread out, fair and few between. Side-by-side action battle for the race lead. A bit of a rubbing and shoving to the left rear quarter panel and tire of Tom Wetmore by by Jacob Fife. That battling getting a bit more intense as Blake Cannon now makes up to the second spot once again, just off the back bumper of the 51 of Tom Wetmore. They're going to get closer and closer to the racing action as Jacob Fife now slides back almost to fourth. As Ryan Bean was the man to try and pass them, he slides back into the fourth position. Ethan Lane in fifth, trying to claw his way back up into the closer knit positions. Remember, that's your pole sitter for tonight's event, as he has quite a bit of work to do in these last few laps to try and catch up to this pack. Still has some time and quite a bit, and we'll see if he has the pace to try and catch these 4 guys up front. Battling, getting ever so closer with these top 5 guys, and it is really the focus right now, as they are all trying to get around each other. And it seems as though that might work. Jacob Fife trying to make a move around the 44 of Blake Cannon yet again. Let's take a moment to look back here at the battles in the mid-pack here. It's Jared Davis, Nicholas Ward, John DeBarro, and Jack Schnitzel. Wait. That is not his name. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. Schrittenthal? I apologize for butchering your name, Zach, but it's all in the best of efforts to try and say it the best I can. The 55 gets a little bit swayed back there in the back of the pack, as the field has been the most spread out and closest, in a sense, that it's been all night, really. Making up some ground is Ethan Lane. He now moves up to the 5th spot, back into the top 5. Anyone curious on the score? 0-2 Yankees and Rangers. Rangers got a 2-run single fielded to center. It's Rowdy Tellez, former Seattle Mariner, who made that play. And it's still with 2 Rangers on the plate, 1 on second in scoring position. These top 5 guys still kind of spread out a little bit, as things are getting a little heated up here tonight. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, I thought that Iowa would put on quite a good showing here tonight, and I have not been wrong so far. So truly has been quite an incredible turn of events. And as we tick over to lap 150, motor blown. I believe it's someone sitting on pit road. As we turn on to lap 50, ladies and gentlemen, turn up the volume on your phone, in your AirPods speakers, or on-desk monitors, or your television, as we get ready on 150 to crank it up these last few laps. What an interesting turn of events here with just 15 laps to go here in Iowa. The pass for the lead is made. Blake Cannon takes the lead over Tom Wetmore and is now starting to pull away as we enter the final stages of tonight's event. Truly an amazing event we've seen so far here tonight, and it's been absolutely incredible to be able to broadcast it for you here today. All the FTN viewers at home, remember that this is the regular season finale, moving on to the playoffs next week. Tom Wetmore really starting to fall off a cliff here, as he is really just falling back into the grasp of both Jacob Fife and Ethan Lane. Ethan Lane, too, our top 5 is, except for Fife, I believe exactly as it was in qualifying. These guys are battling it out here, but Blake Cannon really has been putting on a show-stopping performance and has led so many laps tonight. In fact, if I can check, I don't think I can right here. No, I cannot. But has been putting on a generational performance right here as he made the move on Tom Wetmore, trying to get back into the battle for the lead, and he makes the move stick and has gapped him by 1.6 seconds. So clearly, whatever, tire management, tire saving has really been working out well for him, keeping that right rear temp in control and in check. Really been the successful part here, as the battle now, as Tom Wetmore bunches up the bottom half of the top 5. This could get messy here with Ethan Lane, Jacob Fife, Ryan Bean, and Tom Wetmore, all 4 of them close together. It's been pretty spread out, and it's been pretty tame so far, as Ethan Lane tries to stick it up to the inside of the 36 of Jacob Fife, and will not do it. He stays along and behind the 36, as everyone else is just falling into the shadow of Blake Cannon, as he now gaps the field by 2 seconds. Really a great one to watch here, ladies and gentlemen, as we are starting to really wind down the laps and opportunities to make passes now. Everyone's starting to get a little bit more aggressive. They're starting to push with whatever life in their tires they have left. Remember, these are 55, the top 3. That includes Blake Cannon, Tom Wetmore, Jacob Fife. All have 55 lap-old tires. And the freshest one in our top 5 is Ethan Lane at 43. So almost another 15-lap tire and fuel advantage in the number 6 car. Can he use that to his advantage? He gets loose and he slides up the track. No, he won't, and he'll slide back and give up a couple of spots, and he'll slide back all the way from 4th to 7th. Bit close, almost contact there with Ryan Bean. And the 73, a lap car going by. Car really could play into the hands of the people back here in case of a caution or anything like that, but not into the hands of Blake Cannon, as he has gapped the field by almost 4 seconds in just the last 6 laps. But right now, plenty of battles going on right now. Tom Wetmore really holding back pretty much everyone here in this group, as he slows everyone down and holds them to a certain pace, as that was nearly a wreck. The 26 out against the outside retaining wall. Ethan Lane shoves him up against the wall as well. Contact, but no wrecking, and we stay green. Jacob Fife starting to slow back and fall back a little bit as well, as Zach Schrittenthal now moves up to the 2nd position, making a move on Tom Wetmore. These guys battling it out tough. That's some netcode contact between the 19 and the 51 of Tom Wetmore as he eventually scoots his way past. Bit of a muscle up and muscles out the 51 from out and ahead of him. This is when the racing really starts to take its own shape. Right now, it's the one lap that matters. White flag in the air for Blake Cannon. It's the white flag and one more lap to go. Just 2 sets of corners to go for Blake Cannon. Led an absolute dominant performance in these last 8 laps or so to gap the field by almost 5 seconds at the line. Great performance, led a bunch of laps earlier this race, played the strategy just right. And in the cornfields of Iowa, the 44, Blake Cannon, comes home with the win. And he will win the regular season finale on our quest into the playoffs. What an absolute performance here so far. And, well, what had been by Blake Cannon, honestly, truly a dominating performance here from the 44 machine. And in the cornfields of Iowa, he comes up victorious. Incredible performance here from the 44 of Blake Cannon as we get ready to go over the results. Blake Cannon here with the win in in the hills, the corn hills of Iowa. Then it's Zach Schrittenthal with Jared Davis following behind. Tom Wetmore, Ethan Lane, Ryan Bean, Jacob Fife, Brock Porter, John DeBarro, Ross Cato rounds out your top 10. Moving on, it's Matt Salisser, Nicholas Ward, Brian Yaksik, Boomer Logan, Randon Fayash, Don Stevenson, Josh Gallagher, Bobby Keith, Nick Turbach, and Eli Cars. A lot of people, just 16 cars on the lead lap. Everyone below 20th, multiple laps down or out of this race. Cody Smith, 10 laps down. Nate Campbell, Kyle Cooper, Brad Patton, Nolan Porter, Aaron Eads, Sean Kalist, Sam Nito, Galen Gaidman, and Woody Man not even making 14 laps within this race. Really a scorcher here from Iowa in the Iowa Corn race, and we'll be getting interviews here just shortly, so don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back with our top 3.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Boundless makes its presence felt. It will not be ignored. We're helping turn ideas into reality with a wealth of building products that take every architectural style to the next level. This is what it's like to imagine, build, and transform anything we want into exactly what we seek. This is what it means to be boundless.
Once again, welcome back, race fans, to the World Center of Racing, Daytona National Speedway. As we get set for our second on-track activity today.
Racing requires everything that you've got. Climbing into NASCAR on Sunday, it feels like you're getting ready to go into battle.
When I hit that ignition switch, that car fires up. It's one of the best things in the world.
Back here in Iowa, and interviews to get underway here in just a moment. We're going to talk with our race winner, Blake Cannon. Oh, okay. Blake Cannon, what an absolute performance on tonight here in the Corn Hills of Iowa. Talk me through how you did it. Oh, dear. Blake, this is Alex Balderas in the booth. You got a copy? Well, that would be a no. Okay then. Okay. I guess in that case, that wraps it up a little early. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast here of the Integrity OCTANE Racing Series regular season finale here in the Corn Hills of Iowa. Thank you so much for watching FTN, and thank you for being members of the community. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you who do show up regularly. My name has been Alexander Balderas, producer and commentator here for tonight, stepping in for David. He'll be back next week for the first round of the playoffs. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you'd like to, scan the QR code on your screen right now for all things Fireball Talks NASCAR content. Join the Discord to get behind-the-scenes info on a broadcast, join the racing leagues, and see how FTN functions behind the scenes. If you are interested, scan the QR code on your screen right now. And if you're interested in joining the fray on the track, scan the QR code on your screen right now to join the iRacing community and join one of the many leagues that we broadcast here tonight, and like the ones we broadcast here tonight, like the Integrity OCTANE Racing Series. Thank you so much, everyone who tuned in and who joined us here tonight for what has been a fantastic evening of racing here in the Iowa corn powered by ethanol at Iowa Speedway. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will welcome you back next week for the first round of the playoffs. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. We will see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iowa as we are getting ready to get interviews underway here in the Integrity OCTANE Racing Series. We're going to get our winner here, hopefully. Let's see if we can get him in here. Blake, this is Alexander Valderas up in the booth. You got a copy? So walk me through how you ended up going about all that. Pretty dominant performance we saw out on the track, especially during those last 10 laps. Kind of walk me through what the strategy was, even though we had quite a few cautions in the middle of the race. Yeah, honestly, I have always known that to Iowa to be a great racetrack with multiple grooves, a lot of racing action, especially those first two grooves have always been quite the interest to me. They've always been very close in comparison. What was keeping the rear tire temperature in check like? We started out, was very sunny race, was beating down on the track, that low angle, that sunset usually means quite a bit of sun on certain parts and kind of shadowy, overcast in others, and then eventually it went and turned into night. So that rear tire temperature, how much of a concern was it? Yeah, and typically from what I've known, it's usually the right rear that's the first to go, especially if you're driving pretty hard and trying to get the car yawed out quite a bit. But you mentioned that, you were kind of easy in, easy off, and that it was kind of slow. I guess it really paid off there at the end. In 8 laps, you gained about almost 6 seconds on the rest of the field. Yeah, I gotta say, I was expecting it to be a good race. I did not expect it to be as good as it was here tonight. But then again, tensions going into the playoffs, regular season finale. What are your thoughts heading into next week? Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. So once again, congratulations on your win here in Iowa tonight. That puts you in pretty good circumstances, maybe a few points higher than needed. No, you're already locked into the playoffs, but every point matters towards the end of the championship. But congratulations once again. And is there anything else you'd like to say, or anyone else you'd like to thank? Well, absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, congratulations on your win. So that was our winner, Blake Cannon. He uh, eventually found his way back to his correct VC. Unfortunately, no one else who got into the top three is available for interview, but we'll get a pretty important guy down here. Okay. We're going to have to do it the other way. We'll get him down here and see if he has any words. Tom, you join us here in the broadcast booth. Unfortunately, slipped from the lead to fourth. Kind of explain how those last 10 laps went out for you. Don't want to poke any drama here or anything, but I did notice involved in a couple of incidents here tonight, and in the same manner too, just tagging the left rear. What are your thoughts on that? Is that maybe a car contact issue? What did you think out there? Just unfortunate, but we were talking about how the tires and everything played out. Fourth place here tonight for you. And what are your thoughts going into next week? This being the regular season finale, with just a week left before the playoffs. What's the mindset going into it? Well, sitting pretty right now in second place in the points. All top 10 are locked in. And when are the points going to be updated? Is that going to have to be a next cast type deal, or? Well, as most people say, consistency is key, especially over the long course of maybe a regular season. Then stepping it up to be a little bit higher level in the playoffs is absolutely key. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for joining us here in the booth, and congratulations on your fourth place. I know it isn't what you wanted, but being so in a prime position, really, in second place in the points right now, a fourth place just to kind of hunker it down is not at all by any means a bad finish. All right, well, thank you so much, and have a good day. Tom Whitmore, the driver of the 51, he finds himself, as well as the rest of the admins, kind of going down. Let's see if we can't get someone else. I want to try. I'm not stalling, I swear. I want to see if I can get the playoff points in to see, just to let the viewers at home know who's locked in and who's not. Because I feel like it would be bad of me, a disservice, if I kind of just let that go till the next broadcast and David had to fill in on people, especially when the points are quite close. So let's see. You know what? Let's get Fife in here. Hopefully he's not doing anything with the points. Let's see. Jacob, you join us here in the broadcast booth after quite an exciting race here in Iowa. I didn't want to pull you or distract you if you were working on the points, but I gotta burn some time before apparently they're supposed to be ready. So I came to talk to you. You almost finished, closer within that top three, had a great run towards the end, and kind of just tell me and walk me through how it happened. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Going into the playoffs, I've talked about it with a couple other drivers here tonight. It takes a different mindset than just the regular season. The regular season is about making the playoffs. And then when you're in the playoffs, it's about making the playoffs great for you as a driver. So tell me what kind of mindset shift you have to take going into the playoffs, knowing that we're just less than a week away. Michigan's quite the opener for the playoffs, and especially with the Next-Gen SuperSpeedway-esque, and not in a realistic sense, but quite a lot of pack racing. There's a lot of draft involved, and there's a lot of building on cars being so close and tight knit together. I actually, speaking on close being cars being close together, is that tonight we actually saw quite a few bigger accidents than I thought we would. I know, Iowa, the racing is actually quite close individually speaking, but after a couple of restarts, we just had a few pileups that I just was not expecting. But, other than that, the race was rather clean. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and talking with us. And in your best interest, since you're an admin, I want to get you back so you guys can get the points out and knocked out. But who should I talk to next? Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And David should be back next week for the opening round of the playoffs in Michigan. Thank you so much, Jacob, for your time, and hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your night. Oh, Jacob Fife, another admin here that we got to talk to before. I want to see. I don't know if I can just yap, and I don't know if I can do any highlights at the end. I don't want to drag this on too ridiculously long. I feel, or would feel, pretty bad if I did that. So, is there anyone else I can talk to? He's not an admin, is he? He's not. Where did he finish? Well, I did my spiel already, so David can cut that. Is there no? Yeah, you know what? Let's talk to Matt. Let's get Matt in here. Matt, this is Alexander Valderas in the booth. You got a copy? Well, wonderful to have you here. I'm kind of running out of people to talk to, especially because I want to get the points up on the broadcast before I end it off and sign it over to David for next week in the playoffs. But I wanted to talk to you specifically because you were just 3 points above the cut line. And with this race being so close, a lot of hectic action going on, quite a few wrecks, a lot of side-by-side action, and a lot of good green portions of the race. How stressful was going in and going through this race, being so close to the cut line, worrying if you were going to make it or not? So, speaking of that, actually, I've been talking with some of the drivers recently about what is the good, what's the mindset shift that you have to go from the prolonged, kind of arduous regular season. It all comes down to one race, and then after this, knowing that you've made it, you have what seems to be a whole nother season on your back in just the final few races. What's sort of the mindset shift that you have to take as a driver to kind of excel and make sure you do your best in the playoffs? Yeah, and I think that that's kind of a thing that a lot of drivers have reiterated here is that not only do you need to step up in consistency, but also you need to step up your game a bit more because, like you said, in a 15 driver series and getting a top 15, while that's great, if you're 15th in points getting that top 15, it probably isn't going to help you out much, if any at all. So worrying about, getting up through these levels, getting up through and trying to work yourself up and getting higher and higher in those positions, like you stated, qualifying better, making sure you can get some stage points and getting out there at the head of the field should be at one's main concern. But really what I now focusing on, because you told me, is making it through Daytona. That is going to be a challenge for everyone, especially because it's already 2 rounds deep. So people have already had some experience at Michigan. There's going to be probably at least 1 wreck, so there's probably going to be people that are upset at that. Then Richmond is another short track, so Lord knows what's going to happen there. And then you have Daytona after that. That is going to be a rough 3-race stretch for everyone to work on consistency with 3 totally different types of tracks, 2 more similar than others, but really not really. So, like you said, anything happens at Daytona, and I wouldn't expect anything less to come from here. The next gen is actually one of the most fun plate packages, I think, are on the surface right now. So, a lot of maneuverability. You can get a lot of lines going, a lot of strong pushing, but a lot of strong pushing also can lead to contact and wrecks. So, knowing Daytona, that's probably going to be the biggest challenge for these drivers going in, especially since it's so early. Yeah, and so that's kind of one of the biggest things that you have going into the playoffs, especially with the super speedway being at such an integral point. I think it's going to shake up a lot of the field. I think it's going to be quite a good race. I know with such tensions on the line, usually it brings out higher, closer, better racing action. Like we saw here tonight, a lot of stress going in. The regular season finale going 1 week away from the playoffs, and you have to focus a lot more on trying to just get over the hump and make sure you end up into the postseason. And so there's a lot of stuff on the line, not only tonight, but a couple races down the line. Thank you so much for your time here tonight, and hopefully all goes well in your chance at the postseason and the playoffs. Well, thank you so much, and hope you have a good evening. It was Matt Yosler. Probably. Great guy. Unfortunately, I don't think the points... I can't milk this any longer. I'm not David. I can't just talk to talk. I don't think the points will be ready in time for me to show them or talk about them on the broadcast. But him saying that he made it is leading me to believe that Jared Davis probably also made it, considering Nolan Porter finished. He finished like... Oh, maybe he finished better than I thought. Or I just can't find him. That too. Stevenson. If I remember correctly, he didn't finish that 26th with 56 laps down. Yeah, so my guess is that there wasn't any change to the points. So I am going to go ahead and boldly claim, and hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me, that this is going to be your playoff picture. Now, going into next week here at Michigan, it's going to be quite the interesting battle about going on with all the racing action that's going to go on. It's going to be quite a close and quite a tough, hard-fought race with a lot of these guys. I'm really trying not to milk it too much, but they're not giving me much to work with here. But yeah, my confident prediction is that this is going to be the final playoff picture. I don't think anyone else has made it or lost. I think with with Porter finishing the way he did, and then John DeBarro also didn't finish spectacularly well, I think, if I remember correctly. Oh, he finished 9th, so there is a chance. Maybe it's different. But I'm going to go ahead and boldly claim that it's not, and that this is your current playoff picture. So get another good look at it as you can as we go into the playoffs just next week. Well, that about does it, and David will probably... Oh. Jacob Fife is actually typing into the standings channel. I don't know whoever is watching this live, and if you are, thank you for sticking with us. I have finally yapped long enough to see the updated points, and you guys will get it on the broadcast as soon as I get it, to get the official confirmation of who is in and who is not in the Octane Series playoffs. And there it is. So I'll get that up here on the board quickly for you viewers at home, because I know some of you have bedtimes and you guys have to get out of here, as do I. My voice is going quite hoarse. I have to remember which one it is. Getting it up quickly for you. Take a look on your screen now. This is the confirmed playoff picture. Jared Davis squeaks in as Matt makes it 14th as well. John DeBarro just misses the playoffs at negative 21 points. Then it's Nathan Nolan Potter, Zach Schrittenell, Brian Yaksik, and Bobby Keith to make it just below. Going into your playoff picture, Ethan Lane is your number 1 seed. Then it's Blake Cannon, Tom Wetmore, Jacob Fife, Nick Ward, Brad Patton, Nick Terbach, and then Nate Campbell, and the list goes down all the way to Jared Davis. So I finally stalled long enough to get that on the broadcast. Thank you so much for the viewers at home who have tuned in to watch, and thank you so much for those who tuned in every week to watch. Thank you so much, and have